Winning on home soil, Alexandra Eala kicks off inaugural Philippines Open with comprehensive victory. Alexandra Eala's Australian Open was cut short after a hugely disappointing first-round loss to Alicia Parks. After a very positive and upbeat reaction to the defeat, she has commenced the inaugural Philippines Open with a 6-1, 6-2 victory over Elena Cariva. The event is very highly anticipated by many, with tennis in the Philippines growing to new levels. Eala has been the main focus in this huge rise on popularity, with the Trailblazer enjoying a breakout 2025 where she reached a WTA 1000 semifinal while also picking up her first senior title on tour. It was all capped off with her climbing into the top 50 in a historic achievement by the 20-year-old. She now one of the favorites to grab another title, but this one would mean a lot to the young prodigy, with her able to play in her home country surrounded by her own fans as Philippines hosts its first WTA event. It was complete domination against the world number 163, in a first meeting since the pair took to the court in a W15 event back in 2020. Cariva won the tie at the Melilla Open in a straight sets victory in Spain. However, the tables have now fully turned in the favor of Eala, who had no problem in getting the better of her opponent. She started on the front foot, holding to love before Cariva leveled. It would be all Eala for the rest of the set, dropping just 4 more points as she breezed to the first set. The Russian was only able to win 1 point on the Eala serve. The second set saw the pattern be altered, with Cariva this time getting her nose in front with a break. Eala responded brilliantly, instantly breaking back before leveling up at 2-2. In fact, from going 2-0 down, she would not drop another game in a very commanding showing at the Rizal Memorial Sports Complex in the Philippines' capital city Manila. These were more drawn-out games. There was almost a third consecutive break when Cariva failed to take any of her 3 break points. Eala survived before taking a third break opportunity offered in the next game to go a break in front, right after she took a medical timeout due to some discomfort. She held with ease before Cariva missed the chance to go within 1 game. Eala was more clinical in winning the game before serving it out with ease to seal a first WTA victory in her home country. The stats painted a picture. 77% of first serve points were won compared to Cariva's 50%, with her only winning 22% of second serve points, a very small amount. Eala converted 71% of her break points, a lot more higher conversion rate than the 23-year-old's 20%. Eala's next opponent is guaranteed to be Japanese, but she will have to wait until tomorrow to find out whether it is now Hibino or Himino Sakitsum to be her next challenger. Winning on home soil, Alexandra Eala and the promise of a nation. There is a particular electricity that lives only in home crowds. It hums beneath the skin, louder than nerves, heavier than expectation. For Alexandra Eala, stepping onto court to open the inaugural Philippines Open, that electricity was not a distraction, it was a current she learned to ride. Home soil is not just geography. It is memory. It is the echo of afternoons spent chasing balls under a tropical sun, the quiet sacrifices of family, the long-distance belief of a nation that has waited to see itself reflected on the global tennis stage. When Eala walked out to begin the tournament, she did so carrying more than a racket. She carried a story that had been building for years. From the first point, the message was clear. This was not a ceremonial appearance or a sentimental homecoming. This was business. Her movement was sharp, her shot selection purposeful, her composure unmistakable. Each rally felt like a conversation between past and present, the junior champion who once announced her potential to the world, and the maturing professional now intent on fulfilling it. Winning at home is often described as a double-edged sword. The cheers lift you, but the expectations can weigh you down. Yet Eala played as if she had made peace with both. When the crowd rose, she absorbed the energy. When silence fell between points, she returned inward, calm and exact. The match unfolded with a sense of control that suggested not just preparation, but belonging. The Philippines Open itself represented something larger than a single tournament. Its inauguration marked a statement that the Philippines is not merely a consumer of global sport, but a contributor to it. In that context, Eala's comprehensive opening victory felt symbolic. She was not only winning a match, she was christening a stage. There is poetry in the idea of beginnings aligning. A first edition of a tournament. A new chapter in a young athlete's career. A generation of Filipino fans seeing elite tennis not through screens, but in front of them, breathing the same air as a player who speaks their language and understands their rhythm. Each clean winner drew applause, but also recognition. This was what possibility looked like. Eala's game that day reflected growth. The power was measured, not rushed. The defense was resilient, shaped by patience rather than panic. Most striking was her confidence under pressure, an assurance that comes only from countless unseen hours of work. She did not chase highlights. She constructed points. She trusted her training. She trusted herself. And in doing so, she trusted the moment. Home victories often blur into emotion, but this one stood out for its clarity. There was joy, yes, but also intent. The celebration came after the final point, not before. That restraint spoke volumes. It suggested an athlete who understands that this win, however meaningful, is part of a longer journey. For young Filipino athletes watching from the stands or following along from home, the image mattered. Seeing one of their own command the court with confidence reframes what feels attainable. Dreams become less abstract when they wear familiar colors and walk familiar streets. Eala's presence alone does that. Her performance amplified it. In sport, symbolism is powerful but fleeting unless backed by substance. On that opening day of the Philippines Open, substance was everywhere. In the precision of Eala's strokes, in her steady body language, in the way she closed out the match without hesitation. It was the kind of victory that does not rely on drama to be memorable. Winning on home soil is often described as special. But sometimes it is more than special. Sometimes it is necessary. It reminds the athlete why they began. It reminds the audience why they care. And it reminds a nation that excellence does not always arrive from elsewhere. It can be cultivated, patiently, right where you stand. As Alexandra Eala left the court, applause following her like a tide, the moment felt complete yet unfinished. The inaugural Philippines Open had its opening statement. A homegrown star had delivered. And somewhere between the baseline and the roar of the crowd, the future of Philippine tennis felt a little closer, a little more real. This was more than a win. It was a homecoming with purpose, and a beginning worthy of the stage it opened.